Tarantino is back. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time is a new film written and directed by the one and only Quentin Tarantino, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and many others. The film follows a Western TV actor named Rick Dalton, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and his stunt double Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt, and they're trying to make a name for themselves in Hollywood in 1969 during the Golden Age, and this film also takes place around the Manson murders. Now, I was really excited for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Why? 2 words: Quentin Tarantino. He is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I love his movies: Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill movies, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, Hateful Eight. He's a great director. Whenever I hear he is writing and directing a new movie, no matter what it is or who is in it, I am automatically excited. I love the cast he was getting for this movie, and I was interested to see what he would do as a story around the Manson murders. And the trailers for this movie were fantastic. This was my most anticipated movie of the summer. I was so excited for this movie. I have finally seen this movie, and I gotta say, this movie was freaking great. I love this movie so much. This is definitely one of my favorite movies of the summer and years so far. This movie was terrific. Another great film from Quentin Tarantino. First, Quentin Tarantino's directing and screenplay, nothing short of excellent. The dialogue in this movie is just so funny, witty, snappy. How he can make extended scenes of conversations just so engaging and interesting. Quentin Tarantino is just a master of that. And I gotta say, this is one of Tarantino's funniest movies, if not his funniest film. And in my opinion, the funniest scene in this movie was the scene you've seen in the trailers where Brad Pitt is fighting Bruce Lee. That scene was really, really funny. Also, the most spot-on Bruce Lee impression ever. And not only is his script great, just also the look of the film is just fantastic. Just how he does a spot-on job recreating Hollywood in the golden age of 1969 and making this film just look so good. The production design in this movie is absolutely excellent. There was not 1 second in this movie where I didn't believe I was in the golden age of Hollywood. The locations and the great soundtrack that definitely added to this movie, making this movie feel like 1969. And the performances in this movie are terrific. Tarantino knows how to get great performances out of his actors, and this film is no exception. It was so great to see Leonardo DiCaprio back into acting 5 years after The Revenant, and even in a Tarantino movie, which is just as great. He plays this TV Western actor who's worried that his stardom is going to go downhill, and when a character tells him that something that could possibly affect his career, he would just be destroyed, and whenever he gets a compliment, it just boosts his confidence, just goes up. And DiCaprio plays this role brilliantly. And also, there was a great scene where he's in the trailer after he had a bad day on set on the new TV Western he was working on. That scene was great. I'm really happy to see Leonardo DiCaprio back in the Tarantino movie after Django Unchained. Really happy to see DiCaprio back both in the acting and in the Tarantino movie. He is amazing in this movie. And Brad Pitt plays his best friend, who is also his stunt double, who hasn't been getting that much work. He is great in this movie. He is really funny. I haven't seen Brad Pitt this good in the movie since, I would say, Moneyball's like last time I've seen Brad Pitt give a fantastic performance, and he is amazing in this movie. And I never thought I would see both DiCaprio and Brad Pitt as a duo, but I am glad I did. They had excellent chemistry together. Their interactions were just so entertaining and engaging. Both DiCaprio and Pitt were a great duo. I love their scenes together and also individually. And the rest of the performances are great too. Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, she is great in this movie. And also Kurt Russell, Al Pacino, and many others. A big cast in this movie, and everyone is really good in this movie. Not one bad performance to be seen. And since this film has a long runtime, Tarantino movies are usually slow paced and have a long runtime. And honestly, this movie flew by for me. I wasn't really bored that much during this movie. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if this movie went on longer. And I gotta say, the climax of this movie, when the Manson murders this movie occur, wow. my jaw dropped. Just, that scene is worth the price of admission. And Tarantino knows how to use tension very well. The tension in that scene definitely reminded me of the opening scene of Inglourious Basterds. Just how intense it was, my heart was pounding, and I was on the edge of my seat during that scene. And that's not the only thing of Inglourious Basterds that scene reminded me of, and also the pub scene of Inglourious Basterds, it also reminded me of that scene as well. Climax of this movie, just wow. As for issues or nitpicks, I would say my only criticism of the film was Sharon Tate. Not really Margot Robbie's performance in this movie. She was great. She definitely looked the part, and I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Sharon Tate besides Margot Robbie. But my issue is, I do wish she had a bit more involvement in the story. I felt like she was underused a bit. But honestly, that's it. And an otherwise fantastic movie, and another great film from Quentin Tarantino. It's very well directed, has an excellent screenplay, terrific performances. I'm not sure where this film would rank on my Tarantino ranking, but I would say near the top 5, if not the top 5. This film is definitely one of my favorite movies of the summer and year so far. If you are a fan of Quentin Tarantino and you love his movies, and if you have not seen this movie yet, definitely check out this movie. However, if you are not a Tarantino fan and if you don't like his movies and this film does not interest you, you can skip this movie if you want. However, if you haven't seen any of Quentin Tarantino movies and if this film interests you, give this film a watch. I do recommend this film and I think it's worth watching. And overall, I am going to give Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 4.5 stars out of 5. Just an absolutely great movie. I love this movie, beginning, middle, and end. Definitely one of my favorite movies of the year so far. I love this movie. Definitely see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I highly recommend it. So what do you guys think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Do you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. It really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.